We have another NHL trade to discuss. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes have hooked up on a 3-player deal, thus continuing the Alex Galchenyuk World Tour. He's on the move again. We'll discuss the deal coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. Now, as I mentioned, we have an NHL trade to talk about here this evening. It's a relatively small trade, but adds some extra depth to the Toronto Maple Leafs roster, which has been rumored and speculated for some time that they were going to be looking to do, especially somebody who can play in their bottom six. I know we've talked about this really ever since the Joe Thornton injury. He got hurt, and Nick Robertson got hurt, and it was really speculated for some time. They were looking to add another body who could play up and down our lineup, ideally consistently in the bottom six, maybe contribute on a secondary power play, something to that effect. And obviously Alex Galchenyuk can technically do those things, even though he's been very inconsistent during the last number of years in his career here. Now, here's the deal. In its entirety, Alex Galchenyuk goes from Carolina, who they just acquired him from Ottawa. He had then cleared waivers. It was assigned to their minor league team, but had not yet reported, so he's actually still in Canada. He hadn't left the country yet. And then going back to the Hurricanes is, you guess you can call him a journeyman minor league defenseman, David Warsofsky, who's 30 years old. Played a little bit of NHL games, I believe, but mostly a minor leaguer over the last number of years since turning pro. And then Yegor Korshkov, who's 24 years old. He was a draft pick of the Maple Leafs back in 2016. He has one NHL game to his career totals, but he also has one NHL goal. It was only one game, but it was a good game, and he got his first NHL goal. So that's all he's got to show for. Right now, I believe he's still in Russia. He was playing in the KHL while waiting for the NHL season to start up, but I don't believe he's made the jump back over. A lot of those contracts, depending on what they sign, sometimes are not overly flexible. So I believe he's still in Russia right now. So Carolina gets to add some minor league depth, and then they get to shed themselves out of the Galchenyuk contract. I really don't think they really wanted Galchenyuk, but they wanted to move on from Ryan Dzingel in the trade they made with Ottawa just in the last day or so here. Obviously, Ryan Dzingel was a player they wanted to move on from that contract, and they wanted to get somebody who was a different kind of player, somebody in their bottom six who was more defensive, good on faceoffs. So they wanted Cedric Paquette, who they got from the Senators. So there was a good swap that way, but the Senators obviously wanted them to take not only Paquette, but Galchenyuk as well to make the money a little bit closer. Obviously the Senators don't have an issue cap-wise, so not a big deal that way. But I guess they insist that the Canes take Galchenyuk, and then they put him through waivers, and now they flipped him. So I guess from the benefit here from the Maple Leafs side of things is, like I said, they get a player who is well-known around the NHL. Like I said, his world tour continues. I'm starting to wonder if he's going to end up playing for every NHL team. I mean, he's gone from Montreal to Arizona, to Pittsburgh, to Minnesota, to Ottawa, to Carolina, and now to Toronto. I mean, he's making his way through Canada now as well. His third different Canadian team. And the good news, I guess, also for Toronto is he doesn't have to go through any kind of quarantine or isolation period, since he was already in Canada playing for the Senators and hadn't gone to the States yet. Then he's fine. So he can join the club right away, and they can assign him wherever they want. He's already cleared waivers as well. So for the next month, they can use him on their taxi squad. They can put him in their minor league team, and he can play as many as 10 NHL games before he needs waivers again. So they have a lot of flexibility there. Difficult to say if he'll get into NHL action or where they're going to put him or how they're going to use him. Like I said, he's been a very inconsistent player, having a really hard time finding his game over the last number of years. He had a couple of good seasons in Montreal, scored 30 goals once. The former number 3 overall pick is now turning into one of those guys that we've seen before, like Elise Stepniak. Seems to be a forever journeyman looking to find his way, find his game, but it's amazing how many chances and opportunities he's had. And like as I said before, that could have been his last one, but then he gets moved again. So we will see if he can resurrect his career with the Toronto Maple Leafs, although I would assume he's going to be given a very limited opportunity. But let me know your thoughts on the deal down below in the comments, and we'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on your notifications so you don't miss any future content. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.